Welcome to the Happier and Healthier podcast. I'm your host, Maria Marlowe, and this is a place where we don't rely on good luck or good genes for our health and happiness, but rather we create it with our thoughts and our actions each and every single day. Each week, I'll bring you a thought or a guest that will help you live your happiest and healthiest life. Are you ready? Welcome back to the Happier and Healthier podcast. Today, I'm joined once again by top personal trainer, Kayla Itsines. You may have heard our earlier episode, which was all about staying on track with your fitness goals and general health and fitness advice. This episode, I brought Kayla back to talk about how to adapt your fitness and health routine post-pregnancy, as she recently had a little baby girl. A quick announcement before we jump in. I recently relaunched my website, healthybymarlowe.com, which is loaded with healthy recipes, nutrition and wellness articles, previous podcasts, meal plans, and online courses. If you haven't been there in a while or ever, be sure to check it out. It is a wonderful resource. And while you're there, be sure to sign up for my Real Food Remedies Guide, which is all about using food as medicine to improve your digestion, slim down, increase your energy, and clear up your skin. Kayla, thanks for coming back on the show. Yeah. So you're going to be at Dubai Active this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to be leading. Is this your first boot camp since having a baby?
Yes, this is my first. Yeah.
So Kayla, last time Kayla was on the show was pre-baby, now post-baby. So how is life different?
Oh my God, so different. Having a baby just changes everything. I think it just changes your whole mind, your perspective, your priorities, like how you would train, things that you prioritize. It's everything's your baby, and that's all really you care about. So it's been great. I love it.
Yeah. But I know that you talked about having to begin again. So you are the top fitness trainer in the world, and then you had a baby, and then even you felt like you had to start all over.
Yeah. I felt what every woman has ever felt. And I think like it was a big shock to me to be able to go into the gym and feel self-conscious or feel anxiety or feel scared. I never thought that would be me, but having a cesarean, just like, you're on edge, like any surgery, any major surgery, you're just on edge. You think, what's going to happen? And so I just had to work it out. On the back of that, I've just released 2 new programs because of it. So
yes.
A blessing.
So let's talk about the beginner program first. So tell us about that. Who is that for, and why is it different than your other programs?
Well, BBG, the original BBG, know and love, everyone loves, it's the high intensity program. And I felt that women who probably didn't know what to do when they got into a gym, didn't know where to start, someone who perhaps over the Christmas period who has had a big break getting back into the gym, maybe they didn't want to jump into a high intensity program. Maybe they wanted something for beginners. And you don't necessarily have to be a beginner to do the beginner program. It's just something that builds that foundational strength to be able to go into something like BBG or BBG Stronger or wherever you want to go in your fitness and your health path. But it was something for that woman that needs a little bit of guidance in the gym, for sure.
Okay. And so once they do the beginner program, then they'll be ready to
BBG. Yeah, they can transition into it. And it's a smooth transition straight into it. So it's add-on weeks.
Got it.
To start.
And so for someone that just had a baby, they would do the pregnancy program, though, not the beginner.
Yeah, definitely. There's a big difference, and I learned that really quickly because I was like, okay, when I was pregnant, I was like, right, just need a program that can transition you. That's not how it works. You need a post-pregnancy program, which is very specific to post-pregnancy, especially if you've had a cesarean. So I made sure that I kept that in mind when creating my program. And then from there, you have to get clearance first. And once you finish that program, then you can start a beginner program, but you don't necessarily go straight into beginner post-pregnancy.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk through the whole thing for women who haven't had a baby yet, or maybe are about to have a baby, or just they're pregnant now. How does your exercise need to change? What needs to change during your workouts?
If you're pregnant?
Yeah, let's start from pregnancy to post-pregnancy.
Okay, so if you're pregnant, every pregnancy is different. So I can't sit here and tell you can do this while you're pregnant and you can do that while you're pregnant. When I was pregnant, I was sick for so long I couldn't work out, or I just did my best. So I'm not going to sit here and tell any pregnant person that they need to work out, because if you don't feel like working out, then you don't need to work out. Post-pregnancy, you need to make sure that you have clearance. So what happens is the journey is you give birth, you then have a waiting period, and that is decided by your doctor. So a cesarean is just a minimum of 6 weeks. So you do nothing basically for 6 weeks. You can go for light walks if you can, but it is a major surgery. If you have a vaginal birth or natural birth, whatever you want to call it, you have a clearance from your doctor, and then you're able to get back into what they like to call light exercise, which you have absolutely no idea what that means. Hence why I created the post-pregnancy program, because I got cleared. Imagine a doctor saying to you right now, cool, you're cleared. It's like,
okay, what do I do?
But what am I cleared for? Oh, you're free to just, go back into light training. I'm like, do you know who I am? Do you know what I do? Like, what does light training mean? Like, so I was very confused. So that's why I created post-pregnancy. So you do the post-pregnancy program as many times as you want until you feel comfortable, and then you move maybe into beginner or wherever you want to go.
Got it. Okay. And are there certain, I'd imagine after giving birth, that's quite taxing on your body. So I'm sure there's different muscles and things that you need to focus on, right?
Yeah. So I think one of the main things that women automatically think is my abs. I need my abs, I need my stomach to go. Like, that is the last thing you want to think about. You want to think about your core stability, but you also want to think about things like posture. If you're breastfeeding, like, you're like this. Mm-hmm. So your back is heavy. So you want to think about increasing your back strength, your shoulder strength, things that you can do to be able to hold a baby. So these are the things that I kept in mind, like even squats, pelvic floor stuff. There are so many things that you need to do rather than thinking, oh, I want my abs back.
Yeah. Well, I know most women that have come to me, if after they have a baby, they want to immediately get their stomach back, like flatten their stomach and lose weight. But that's not necessarily the thing that they should be focusing on. It's more health, making sure you're getting all the nutrients you need.
Absolutely. Looking after your baby. There are so many things you should put your focus on. And I'm a trainer. Yeah. So I'm one that could sit here and show you the world and say, you need to do this and you don't. If you've just given birth, there are so many things that you need to focus on. The last thing that you want to think about is what your stomach looks like. That is just, it's not.
Yeah. So what are some things that have changed now that you have a baby? Like, what was surprising to you about becoming a mother or having a kid? Like, how has your life changed?
My life completely changed. I don't even remember what my life was before, Anna. I don't even know how much time I had in my day to just do whatever I wanted to do. For now, I think the thing that has been a blessing is a routine for Anna, so I'm able to work around her routine. When she was about 6 weeks old, she developed reflux and colic at the same time, which for anyone who doesn't know, reflux is obviously that burning sensation of milk coming back up, and then the colic is when they can't get the gas out, so your stomach is like constantly hurting, so just screaming and screaming and screaming, and you sort of have to, you kind of diagnose it yourself, I guess. So there was like a period of time where that, like, my life completely was consumed by trying to work out why my baby was crying all the time, and you feel like the worst mother in the world, and then suddenly doesn't have colic anymore, and suddenly doesn't have reflux, and your life changes again, her routine changes, you're just constantly working around. I feel like I'm babbling. Sorry. You can just put a fast forward of me going, but yeah, my routine in my day is constantly changing. It just works around her.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of new moms, is that you give your baby a routine and then you just work around that.
Absolutely. The worst, like, not the worst thing, but like a thing that like I just couldn't do is try and fit Anna into my routine. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
I need to have her and her routine, and then I'm like, okay, she's sleeping, 3, 2, 1, go, I've got 2 hours. So.
Yeah. So I know time is a big problem for a lot of people, or it's an excuse we all use, whether you have a kid or not. Nobody has enough time. So what tips do you have for someone who wants to get healthier, wants to start working out more, but doesn't have the time?
So something is better than nothing is basically what I would say to someone. So whether you work out for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever, that's what I literally started doing. That is how I am here today, about to do Dubai Active Bootcamp, by literally going to the gym and doing a 2-minute workout, because that's all I could do. So trying
2 minutes, that's all you need.
My first workout I thought in my head was going to be a workout. I went to the gym, walked straight back out because I had absolutely no idea what was going on. I was like, I'm too scared. I'm honestly too scared. I'm happy to admit that now. Walked onto the treadmill, got on the treadmill, lasted 14 minutes on the slowest walk possible, got off, went home, cried. Like, I'm being honest, that's me as a trainer and an athlete my entire life. That's what happened to me. So something is better than nothing. So just do a little workout. At Dubai Active, I'm going to show women how to work out in 2 minutes. So
Okay, well, I'll definitely be there for that.
Yep.
I thought the 30 minutes was good. I like the 30 minutes.
Yeah, so the 28 minutes is great, and that's why BBG has been so popular. But even post-pregnancy, I've made some of the workouts 8 minutes.
Wow. And for someone who's doing, let's say, an 8-minute workout every day, that's still enough to get results?
Absolutely. If you were doing nothing before, then absolutely.
Yeah. So for anyone who has lost their motivation to work out, or maybe they never had the motivation to work out, what would you tell these people? How do you start a fitness routine when you feel like your motivation is not there?
So the first thing that I think people don't want to hear, but that you can never, ever rely on motivation to get you going, because motivation is very fleeting, comes and goes whenever it feels like. You might watch something, become really motivated, the next day you don't want to do anything at all, you get your period and you're not interested in anything. Mm-hmm. So you have to rely on discipline, and the way to do that is things like booking in your workouts like you would an appointment, getting a friend that's going to motivate you and get you off the couch. Surround yourself with people, like a community that will motivate you to do more. Get a music playlist and actually organize like your life, plan your workout. So something like the Sweat app is amazing because it has your workout there, it shows you the videos, it tells you how long you've got. People need more education around why they're doing what they're doing. If you're educated and you know the benefits of doing something, you're more likely to stick to it.
I agree 100%. And I know personally for me that has worked, and for so many people, so many clients that has worked. It's having that strong why and really understanding why you're making the change. It makes it much easier to stick to.
Absolutely.
So do you have any other health habits besides obviously working out? What do you do to keep yourself healthy?
So I try and combine things that I love with fitness. So like one thing that like I've started a craze, I feel this is me. Okay? Netflix or Stan, whatever channel that you want, combined with cardio. So like I will not go to a gym unless I know that I can phone on the treadmill and watch my favorite TV show while walking, because there is nothing more boring than walking on a treadmill listening to gym music. Like there's nothing more boring. I literally will last 2 minutes and go home. Yeah. So I combine like things I love, like watching my favorite TV show and walking at the same time. Yeah. And some prams, like some strollers, have phone attachments that if you walk down the back streets and you know where you're walking without any cars, you can actually watch Netflix while your baby sleeps in the stroller.
Oh, wow. That's great. I know. I was very late. I don't know if Gossip Girl was popular in Australia. Do you know that TV show?
I'm really bad with any of those shows. It is, but that's not me.
So this was very, very popular in the States when it first came out, and I was very late to the game, like watching. Like I started watching it after this, the whole series had ended. But that's what I would do. I would only watch it when I was on the treadmill or when I was on the bike in the gym.
Absolutely.
And I ended up going to the gym quite frequently.
Because you know what you're doing. You're like, that's fine. I'm going to watch. And then if you sort of say in your head, I'm only going to watch it when I'm on the treadmill, then motivation.
You're there every day.
Absolutely.
Then. Yeah. And what about some daily habits? Do you have a morning routine or an evening routine? Anything that you're doing on a regular basis to...
Other than my walks, no, and I want to be really honest with that. I'm not like, I get up in the morning and stretch, because I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, get everything ready to go. Like, it's a bit crazy. The only thing that I do, which is like take a warm shower before I go to sleep, because otherwise... Like my body is like, I feel like very tense. It was winter in Australia for so long. It never ended. Yeah. So just making sure but other than that, I'm just eating well. I'm staying hydrated. All the personal trainer things. I think
Yeah. So is there one tip or piece of advice for our listeners to live a happier and healthier life now that you're a mom? Maybe there's something new.
I think try and incorporate or involve your kids as much as you can in your lifestyle. That was the best thing for me. I was almost too focused on Anna's routine. I forgot that maybe we can go out, maybe we can go in the pool together. Being active doesn't mean her sleeping and me working out in a gym. Maybe it is her coming to the gym with me, or us going for a walk or going for a swim together, still staying active. I think that made our relationship so much stronger. Yeah.
And is Arna, she's so tiny right now. Is she into activities already,
Absolutely.
Swimming? And
so she has always been, the first memory I have, honestly, is the doctor being like, how is she looking at you? I put her on my chest, and instead of putting her head down like a normal baby would, because I don't have neck strength, she literally lifted her head up and just stared at me in my face. The doctor's like, this is so weird. So she's always been super strong. So right now she's 7 months old, and if you put her on the ground, she'll pull herself up on two. Oh, wow. But I was a very early walker, so I feel like she's mini me, but she looks exactly like Kobe. So
babies change.
Yeah.
So,
I hope she changes.
yeah.
To a tanned Greek baby.
I'm sure she will. So do you think she's going to be working out with you soon?
Absolutely. I think like my parents were big on us being active. They weren't pushy, but they were all big on us being active. We didn't have video games or phones, obviously. We didn't have phones. I didn't have a phone till I was in high school. But yes, I want her to be active with us. Both me and Toby are active. So
yeah.
It'd be great.
So does that mean there's a little kid?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Kid
No
program.
BBG kids. Okay, just putting that there now.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Kayla.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.